So what happens when the deadliest part of a 7.1 magnitude earthquake isn't actually the shaking ground today, but the psychological ghost of a disaster from exactly 10 years ago? Welcome to today's deep dive.
Yeah, it's a terrifying question.
Right. Well, our mission today is to unpack international and local news broadcasts with you to really understand this terrifying quake that just struck Kumamoto, Japan.
We're exploring the immediate rescue efforts, the firsthand accounts of the destruction, and those chilling comparisons residents are making to the devastating 2016 quake.
Yeah, it's a really profound look at how a community navigates a crisis that they, know all too well.
Absolutely.
So to start, we really need to look at how this quake physically manifested. It hit at a shallow depth of just 10 kilometers, and the sources say it triggered a maximum Shindo 7 intensity.
Right, and for anyone outside Japan, the Shino scale is different. It doesn't measure the total energy release like the Richter scale. It actually measures how the shaking physically feels on the ground.
Okay, so a 7 is the top of that scale.
Yes. A 7 is the absolute maximum. I mean, it means it is literally impossible to remain standing. Instantly, 48,000 homes lost power and, train lines came to a dead halt.
Wow. And that actually confused me when I was reading the firsthand accounts. I always just assumed an earthquake felt basically the same for everyone in a specific radius.
Right, that's what you would think.
Yeah, but reading that an izakaya owner named Tsurunaga experienced this violent 10-second upward thrust that just shattered his restaurant, while another resident, Yamaguchi, who lives nearby in Yatsushiro, she was thrown around by extreme horizontal swaying that toppled her refrigerator.
It's terrifying.
It is. It just broke my understanding of how earthquakes work. I mean, how can two people in the same region experience such wildly different types of violent shaking? It's like riding completely different parts of a roller coaster.
What's fascinating here is how the local geology actually dictates the quake's personality.
Really?
Yeah, it's not just about your distance from the epicenter. When seismic waves hit soft, waterlogged soil, they actually slow down and amplify. And that creates that violent horizontal swaying that Yamaguchi felt. But if those same waves travel through hard bedrock, they transmit the energy directly as a rapid vertical jolt.
Ah, like Tsurunaga's upward thrust.
Precisely. And
Right.
beyond just the physics of it, there's a massive psychological impact.
Right, because it feels completely different.
Exactly. When you survive a disaster that feels mechanically different from the one 10 years prior, it just shatters any false sense of predictability you might have built up.
Speaking of predictability, the biggest shock in these sources was that the ground stopped moving long before the worst damage actually happened.
Yeah, that delayed effect.
Right. We usually think the danger is over when the shaking stops. This was like a delayed fuse. I just couldn't wrap my head around how a massive blast occurs over an hour later.
You're talking about the explosion at the newly renovated Aeon Mall.
Yes, an hour and 15 minutes post-quake, it just blew up. Tsurunaga actually felt the shockwave from 300 meters away.
Oh, where?
Yeah, he thought it was a massive car crash until this ash-like debris started raining down. With gas leak warnings active, 4 people were hospitalized, and rescue teams were desperately trying to reach about 20 employees who were just completely unaccounted for.
Which is just a nightmare scenario.
How does a delay like that even happen?
Well, it comes down to the cascading failure of underground infrastructure.
Yeah.
An earthquake ruptures unseen networks beneath us.
Like gas pipes?
Exactly. A microscopic fracture in a gas line might only leak a tiny amount per minute. It already takes an hour for that gas to pool into a high enough concentration in, say, a basement or a wall cavity.
Oh, I see. So it just silently builds up.
Yep. And then just a single spark from a damaged wire ignites it. These secondary disasters, they turn standard search and rescue missions into deadly obstacle courses.
Which perfectly explains why residents are so terrified to stay inside right now, even if their homes are intact. Live broadcasts captured constant aftershocks.
Yeah, the ground just kept moving.
But it's more than just the current tremors. During the 2016 quake, a deadly main shock actually followed the initial tremor, crushing a lot of people who had assumed it was safe to return home.
The ghost of 2016.
Exactly. It's a brutal irony to point out to you all listening, your house might still be standing perfectly fine, but the trauma of 10 years ago makes it too terrifying to actually use as shelter.
Right. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, we are watching disaster psychology play out in real time. The memory of 2016 is actively dictating today's survival tactics.
And it's forcing some really agonizing choices. Like Yamaguchi was bleeding, enduring near 35-degree heat that's over 90 degrees Fahrenheit, and she deliberately chose to turn off her breaker and wait outside in the shade.
She refused to go back in.
Yeah, she just wouldn't risk it.
But notice the duality of that memory. That 2016 trauma is forcing people into the sweltering heat without supplies, yes, but it is also driving life-saving actions.
That's a good point.
Before Yamaguchi fled her home, she explicitly made sure to cut her electrical breaker. She remembered the past and took the exact step needed to prevent the post-Quake electrical fires, which likely caused that mall explosion.
So Kumamoto is really fighting a dual battle right now. You have the immediate physical reality of severed power lines and collapsed infrastructure, and then this heavy psychological battle against the ghost of 2016.
It just proves that a disaster's footprint extends far, far beyond the moment the Earth actually shakes.
Absolutely. The sources show people fleeing outdoors entirely based on the trauma of a decade ago. It really leaves you wondering, if a major disaster struck your city today, would your community's collective memory of past emergencies save lives, or would it just cause more chaos?